4.2, writing equations in point-slope form. What form did we talk about the other day? I think I heard someone say it. Slope-intercept. Is that what you said? Sorry. I thought I heard someone over here say it, but slope-intercept form. So today we're talking about point-slope form. It is different than slope-intercept form. So someone remind me what slope-intercept form is again.
Y equals mx plus b. Y equals mx plus b.
Y equals mx plus b. Very good. The other day we also used our slope formula. Can anyone tell me what our slope formula is?
y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Very good. If we're given two ordered pairs, we're able to find the slope between those 2 points using our slope formula, correct? You should have both of these memorized and know what they are. So if you don't have them memorized, go ahead and write them down again. Okay? You should know what they are. I'm also going to want you to memorize point-slope form whenever we get to it. Okay? Any questions there? Point-slope form is actually derived from my slope formula. So let's see how it is derived from my slope formula. Given a point on a line and the slope of the line, you can write an equation of the line. Consider the line that passes through the ordered pair 2, 3 and has a slope of 1/2. Let x, y be another point on the line where x does not equal 2. You can write an equation relating x and y using the slope formula with x1, y1 equaling 2, 3 and x2, y2 equaling xy. So let's just say we have some other point x, y and 2, 3 and the slope 1/2. Let's plug all that in to our slope formula. That's what they're doing right here. Does everyone see that? They plugged in the ordered pair 2, 3 for x1, y1, xy for x2, y2, and 1/2 for my slope. Everyone see how they plugged in right here? So, multiplying both sides by x minus 2 gives me this right here. Does everyone see that? If you multiply both sides by x minus 2, it's going to cancel out over here. And then I have 1/2 times x minus 2. So the equation in point-slope form is y minus 3 equals 1/2 times x minus 2. So that's actually point-slope form. So, let's talk about the general formula for point-slope form. I can go back if I need to. So for slope-intercept form, what 2 pieces of information did we need to create an equation in slope-intercept form? What 2 words are in the title?
Slope and intercept.
Slope and intercept. I needed a slope. I needed my y-intercept to be able to build my slope-intercept form equation, correct? So if I have point-slope form, what do you think I need? The slope and a point on the line. So all I need is one point on the line and the slope of the line. Does that make sense? That's why it's called point-slope form. That's why slope-intercept is called slope-intercept form. Any questions about that? Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Here's the general form for point-slope form. A linear equation written in the form y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 is in point-slope form. The line passes through the points x1, y1, and the slope of the line is m. So you need to have point-slope form written down, and you need to get it memorized. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Any questions about point slope form so far? It's just another form of a linear equation. Am I good to move on, or do I need to wait a little bit? Good? Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So in our formula, this y will just stay as y. This x will just stay as x. x1, y1 is the ordered pair that will be given. M is my slope that I'll be given or I'll have to find.
What is that one saying?
Which one?
The last equation of the paragraph.
This one?
No, a little bit like in the definition paragraph.
Here?
Yes.
The line passes through the point x1, y1, and the slope of the line is m. We good? Example 1. Write an equation in point slope form of the line that passes through the point -8, 3, and has a slope of 1/4. Someone raise your hand and tell me what point slope form is. Someone who hasn't answered today. Right here.
No, I'm gonna get this wrong. Get somebody else.
Why is it m?
I just want you to give me the formula.
M equals y minus y1.
Not quite.
Oh, m x minus x1.
Y equals y1. I mean, y minus y1 equals mx minus x.
Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. That's all I was wanting, was the formula for point slope form. Do what? Someone say something. Okay. So, my ordered pair, what does that represent?
Y, X, Y1 and X.
X1, Y1. So -8 is my X1 value. 3 is my Y1 value. And then what does my slope of 1/4 represent? M. So I'm plugging those values into my formula. Okay? So Y minus Y1 is 3 equals M, my slope, which is 1/4, times X minus -8 is my X1. Even though 8 is negative, I still have to use this minus sign from my formula. Does that make sense? So what's that going to turn into? X plus 8. Very good. So here's my equation in point slope form. Does everyone see that? Not too bad? Not too bad at all, huh? You just have a formula, plug it into the formula. Questions on example 1? All right. So let's talk about if you're just given 2 points instead of a point and a slope. What 2 pieces of information do I need in order to write an equation in point slope form? Slope and a point. So if I'm given 2 points, what do I need to find? The slope. So when you are given 2 points on a line, you can write an equation of the line using the following steps. Step 1, find the slope of the line. We're going to use our slope formula again. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Step 2, use the slope and one of the points to write an equation of the line in point-slope form. So the only extra step here is you're using the slope formula and the 2 points to find your slope, and then you can plug into point-slope form. Any questions on that? I'll give you a little time to write this down. I see some people writing. Can I go ahead and move on? I'll wait just a tad longer. Okay, moving on. Write an equation in slope-intercept form of the line shown. Notice what form it wants it in. What form does it want it in? What slope-intercept form? What? Y equals mx plus b. What 2 pieces of information do I need to put an equation in slope-intercept form? Y-intercept and the slope. Do I know my y-intercept here? No. I could find my slope though, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to find our slope first and foremost. Then we're going to use a point and our slope to put it in point-slope form, and then convert it to slope-intercept form. Does that make sense? So, let's find our slope. What's my y2 value? What? Negative 2. Minus, what's my y1? 2. What's my x2 value? 3 minus, what's x1? 1. Very good. Negative 2 minus 2. 3 minus 1. Negative 4 divided by 2. Negative 2. So the slope of my line is negative 2. Everyone okay with that? Finding the slope. Everyone okay finding the slope? Okay, now let's plug in to our point-slope form. Bless you. How do I know which point to use to plug in? Because I need a point and a slope, right? How do I know which point to use? It doesn't matter. Whatever point I use is going to give me the same thing. Okay? It'll look different in point-slope form, but when I convert to slope-intercept form, it'll be the exact same thing. Does that make sense? So, which point do we want to use? 1, 2. Very good. We'll use 1, 2. And our slope of negative 2. So what's my y1 value? 2. Our slope was negative 2. And what's my x1 value? 1. So here's the equation of my line in point slope form, correct? Don't stop there. Pay attention to what form it wants it in. Slope intercept form. In slope intercept form, which variable is by itself? Y. So what do you think I'm going to do for this equation? Separate it how? Not take the y off.
Move the negative to the other side.
I'm going to try to get y by itself essentially, right? Does that make sense? Trying to solve for y. When I solve for y, I'll get it in slope intercept form. Before I add 2 to both sides, what might I want to do first? Distribute. So I'm going to distribute here. What's negative 2 times x? And plus 2. And now what can I do to get y by itself? Add 2 to both sides. So I get y equals negative 2x plus 4. And there's my equation in slope intercept form. Does everyone see how we work through that process? Any questions on that? Sometimes you'll just be given the 2 ordered pairs and you won't be given a graph at all. So you could have used your rise over run here. But, like I said, sometimes you'll be just given the point. So you're going to have to go ahead and use your point or your slope formula. Does everyone see how we work through that process, though? Does everyone see the importance of reading directions? Because we're talking about point slope form, right? If I didn't point that out, I guarantee you there's some people that would have stopped here. I guarantee it. Okay? So pay attention, read the directions on what it's asking you. If it wants it in point slope form, give it to them in point slope form. If it wants it in slope intercept form, give it in slope intercept form. Okay? Questions on example 2? Example 3. Write a linear function f with the values f of 4 equals negative 2 and f of 8 equals 4. So this is kind of similar to an example we saw the other day in our other notes. Does anyone remember how we approached it?
The f is equivalent to the y, and the 4 is the x value, and the negative 2 is the y value.
So what's my first ordered pair?
4 negative 2.
Very good. What I plug in is x. That's my input. My output is my y value. So 4 comma negative 2. So what's my second ordered pair? 8, 4. Very good. So what do I need to do first?
X 2 or y 1 minus. Find your y intercept. Wait, no, never mind.
Find my slope, right? What's my y2?
Negative
4
2. Oh, 4.
minus, what's y1? Negative 2. What's x2? Minus, what's x1? 4. 4 minus negative 2 would give me positive 6, because I've got a state change. 2 negatives make a positive. 8 minus 4. 6 divided by, or 6 over 4 reduces to 3/2. Questions on how I got my slope? Which form do I need to put it in first? Point slope, because that's all my information that I know. I don't know my y-intercept, do I? But I know a point, and I know my slope. So I can use point slope form. Which ordered pair do we want to use? The first one or the second one? First? Okay, let's use the first. Y minus, what's my y value? My slope is 3 over 2. X minus, what's my x value? 4. I generally like to use my first ordered pair almost always because it's already labeled as x1, y1. And there's x1, y1 in my point slope form. You can use either point. I just like to keep my x1, y1 the same. Okay? Make sure we're awake. Make sure we're paying attention. Writing this stuff down. Y minus negative 2 turns into y plus 2. And let's go ahead and put this into slope-intercept form, and I'll show you why here in a second. So what do I need to do? I forgot my parentheses. Yep, distribute. So y plus 2 equals, what's 3 halves times x? 3 halves x. 3 halves times negative 4. Minus 6. And how do I get y by itself? Subtract 2 from both sides. Y equals 3 halves x minus 8. So here's the reason I wanted to put it in slope-intercept form. Let's think about what it's asking. It wants to write a linear function f with the values f of 4 equals negative 2 and f of 8 equals 4. So what do I need to do to get my final answer? If I want a function f. Change my y to f of x, right? There would be my function f. Okay? We don't generally leave f of x with something being added to or subtracted from it. It's usually just f of x equals whatever it equals. Okay? So any questions on example 3? Not too bad. Last example. Nice little word problem for us. It says the student council is ordering customized foam hands to promote school spirit. The table shows the cost of ordering different numbers of foam hands. Can the situation be modeled by a linear equation? Explain. If possible, write a linear model that represents the cost as a function of the number of foam hands. So the first question I need to answer is, can the situation be modeled by a linear equation? Explain. How can I tell if this is linear or nonlinear?
As the numbers increase evenly on both sides, like it all ends by 2 each x or y value.
Very good. I want my x and y value to increase by the same thing each time, correct? I would call that a constant what? Constant rate of change. I want my function to have a constant rate of change. So to get from 4 to 6, what do? 6 to 8. 8 to 10. 10 to 12. So my x values are constant, correct? So that's good, but I got to check my y values too. What do I do to get from 34 to 46? 46 to 58. 58 to 70. 70 to 82. So my y values are constant, correct? So do I have a constant rate of change? I do. So is this linear or nonlinear? Linear. So this can be represented by a linear equation. So I'd have to say it can be modeled by a linear equation because it has a constant rate of change. So that'd be me answering the first part of the question. You'd have to have that written down to get this correct, because that's part of the question. Does everyone see that? That'd be me answering the question and explaining it. So since it is possible, I now need to write a linear model that represents the cost as a function of the number of foam hands. So can I go ahead and erase my explanation? Give myself a little bit of room. Can I erase the first line of my explanation? So there's a couple of ways that I could find my slope. I've technically already found it. What is my slope?
2 over 12.
Not 2 over 12. Remember, it's my change in my y value over my change in my x value. So 12 over 2.
4, 6.
If you didn't recognize that from what we just did, you could have just used your slope formula. 82 minus 70 would give me 12. 12 minus 10 would give me 2. 12 over 2 would give me 6. You could use your slope formula, easily find your slope. Any questions there? Based on this information that I'm given, and without working backwards, like some of us might be doing, do I know my y-intercept? Not with this information. You could find it. So like we said, we could work backwards and subtract 2 until I get to 0. Because remember, a y-intercept is 0 comma some number. Or, what form could I use and then convert it to slope-intercept form? Point slope. So let's go ahead and do that. Which point do we want to use? We can use any of these points right here. 1070. We'll use this one. So what's my y value? 70. My slope was 6. What's my x value? 10. What do I need to do first to get it in slope-intercept form? Distribute 6x. 6 times negative 10. How do I get y by itself? Y equals 6x plus 10. And I'm going to go ahead and write it as f of x equals 6x plus 10. And there would be my linear model that represents the cost as a function of the number of foam hands. Not too bad, right? Y'all get intimidated by word problems, but they're not too bad. Questions on example 4? Can I move on, or are we still writing? Here's our assignment. Pages 189 to 190. Numbers 2 through 34 evens. Due on Friday, April 2nd on campus.
Hey, that's my birthday.
Happy birthday. Here's your birthday gift.
Wait. Because tomorrow's April 4th.
Yeah.
Joke's on us, we get to go to school.
Tomorrow's also my dad's birthday.
I'm going to pretend I'm dying in front of my mom.
Huh?
I'm going to pretend I'm dying in front of my mom.
You gonna pretend you're blind?
Dying.
Dying. Oh. Well, either one of those is not very nice to your mom. But, okay.
She glued dollar bills to the floor
That's funny.
outside of my house, and I tried to grab them. I ripped them.
That's funny.
And I put grease and soap on it.
Do we have any questions about our notes before I stop the recording? All right, make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be putting out more content later this week and next week. So be looking out for that new content. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe.
I'm a subscriber.